All right, let's dive into an idea that might just completely flip how you think about the universe. We're going to explore a theory that asks us to, just for a moment, set aside everything we think we know about particles, forces, and even space and time, and really consider a radical new perspective. So get ready for this. What if the laws of physics, things like gravity, electromagnetism, what if they aren't some external set of rules that were imposed on the universe, like a cosmic instruction manual? And what if, instead, the universe is more like a story that is constantly, and I mean constantly, writing itself into existence? And the laws of physics? Well, they're just its rules of grammar, the syntax that makes sure the whole narrative is coherent and doesn't just fall apart into nonsense. This, right here, is the core idea of symbolic physics. Okay, so to write this grand cosmic story, the universe apparently uses just four fundamental verbs. The theory calls them cosmic gestures. And these four simple actions are the building blocks of, well, absolutely everything. Let's break them down one by one. First up, we've got emergence. You can think of this as the universe's creative spark. It's pure brainstorming. This is the gesture that injects raw newness and potential into reality. It's like this endless bubbling up of what-ifs that allows something to literally come from nothing. Next is memory. Now, if emergence is the universe's wild, creative side, memory is its conservative side. It's the gesture of inertia, right? The tendency for things to just stay as they are. Memory is what provides stability and identity. It makes sure that once something exists, it kind of sticks around. The third gesture is propagation. This is how all the different parts of the universe's story actually connect with each other. It's the principle of causality, the way information gets from point A to point B. It's the cosmic weaver that stitches the story together, making sure that what happens here can affect what happens over there. And finally, we have residue. This one's maybe the weirdest of the bunch. It represents the gaps, the friction, the parts of the story that just don't quite fit together smoothly. You can think of it as the inevitable snag or obstruction that pops up when you're trying to write a single, perfectly seamless story. And here, this is where it all just clicks into place. These abstract ideas, these gestures, they translate directly into the physics we already know and study. Emergence, that's the quantum vacuum, that sea of roiling fluctuations. Memory, that's what we experience as inertia and mass. Propagation is causality carried by light. And residue, that's the stuff of singularities, those unresolvable obstructions we see at the heart of black holes. It all lines up. Now for the really wild part. In this theory, matter, I'm talking about the very stuff you and I are made of, it isn't some fundamental thing. No, it's what happens when these fundamental gestures actually come into conflict with each other. So let's just look at the most basic conflict you can have, the tension between memory and propagation. You've got memory, which is this powerful command to stay put, to conserve a local identity. And then you have propagation, which is the exact opposite. It's the command to spread out, to connect with everything else at the speed of light. So what happens when these two opposing forces, staying put and spreading out, are pulling against each other in a cosmic tug of war? They tie a knot, a stable, persistent knot in the fabric of reality itself. And that knot is a particle of matter. And get this, from these different kinds of conflicts, the entire particle zoo begins to emerge. That fundamental tension between memory and propagation, that gives us the electron. The struggle of propagation trying to move past a fundamental obstruction, a residue, that gives us the quark, which gets permanently trapped or confined. And that really strange tension between a flicker of newness, emergence, and the hesitation of memory, that gives us the ghostly, elusive neutrino. So, okay, if matter is just a knot in the story, what about the page it's all written on? I'm talking about space and time. Well, in this model, even space-time isn't fundamental. It, too, is written into existence. Here's how you build a reality from the ground up. You start with just a bunch of abstract, disconnected relationships. Then, the propagation gesture acts like a cosmic weaver, connecting them all into a dense web. That web of connections, that's what we experience as space. And gravity? Gravity is just a wrinkle in that fabric, caused when the weaver hits a snag, a residue that it can't seamlessly connect. Right about now, you might be thinking, okay, this is a beautiful story, a really neat philosophical idea, but the real power of this framework is that it makes specific, concrete predictions.
This isn't just a metaphor, it's a scientific theory that can actually be tested and, this is the important part, it can be proven wrong.
So, what are these predictions? For one, the theory suggests that fundamental constants aren't actually constant. They change over time in a linked, predictable way. It also predicts that all our searches for dark matter particles will always come up empty, because dark matter is just a geometric effect of spacetime. It says dark matter halos should have flat, chord centers, not the spiky cusps that standard models predict. It even claims the speed of light might not be absolute for the highest energy photons out there. These are bold, testable claims that set it totally apart from standard physics.
So we're left with this final, truly mind-bending question. If our reality really is a self-writing text governed by just 4 fundamental gestures that create everything from electrons to spacetime itself, then what does that make our universe? Is it a story, is it a computation, or is it something far stranger? A self-organizing syntax that literally learned how to exist? That's the profound implication we're now left to explore.